If you can do something in one step, why bother with two, right? Or if you can do something directly, why bother with a series of steps? You'll see what I'm talking about in a bit. Do you remember the standard form of the quadratic equation? Yes, this is standard form. Ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So far we have seen two methods of solving quadratic equations that involve pretty much, there is no other way to describe it except calling it a process. But what if we had a magical formula to solve quadratic equations directly? Let's begin our journey of finding one. Consider the standard quadratic equation itself and apply all the steps that we used to do during the completing the square method. To make the coefficient of x squared equal to 1, divide the equation by a. That's it. Now we are talking. Secondly, we shift this constant term to the right side. What was the next step? Yes, to multiply 1 upon 2 by the coefficient of x, which is b upon a. And then add the square of this b upon 2a on both sides of the equation. After that, we used to compare the resultant equation with the perfect square formula to turn the left side of the equation into a complete square. Here a is x and b is b upon 2a. So we can write it as x plus b upon 2a whole squared equal to everything on the right. Now that we are done with the left side, let's shift our attention to the right and simplify that too. Apply the square to get b squared upon 4a squared. Now, taking the LCM of 4a squared and a, which comes out to be 4a squared, and turns the equation into this. You are right, it's time to take the square root on both sides of the equation, so that we can cancel the square with the square root. Also, the square root of this will be 2 and a. All we need to do now is the isolation of x. Just shift b upon 2a to the right side and it becomes negative. One last step. As the denominators are the same, so we can write it like this. And that's it. We finally got the formula that needs nothing but the values of a, b and c from the quadratic equation. And now that you have a formula to get the answers directly, I'm pretty sure you'll prefer it over factorization or even completing the square. Sounds so much easier, don't you think? Just watch out for one thing. Always remember, putting a equals to 0 here means that the denominator becomes 0, which will not give any solution. And there you have it, a magic one-stop shop for all your quadratic equation solving needs. But don't get too excited and jump ahead of yourself. I've only shown you the formula. I haven't yet taught you how to use it. And that's what we'll be covering in the next lesson.